Hey guys, and welcome back for more Mega Man Battle Network 6. Now that the aquarium adventures are done, we can move on to less strange things? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, less strange things is hardly what I'd be using to describe this particular bit.
Yeah, oh my god. Gregar?
And his friend, his compatriot, the other guy!
Falzar, right?
Yeah, Falzar, Gregar and Falzar, now in spooky ghost form for your ghostly needs.
Ah, it really burns, ah!
It's implied I am burning because it's data.
Wait, who's having this stream, and why is there a health thing at the top there?
Yeah, I just noticed that. Shouldn't it be going down because he was burning and stuff?
Oh, all the tension just immediately evaporates.
Oh no, it's mildly irritating, Do you think in the future, like, since every desk has, like, a laptop, does it, like, make you use Google, or does it have to use, like, the special school-approved search engine?
I think the more important question is, can it detect when students are snoozing or going on sites they shouldn't?
Oh, don't worry. If you hear me snoozing at, 7 a.m. in the morning, I think you can have a good enough rationale to punish me.
Isn't like the recommended time from like certain professionals like 10 a.m. when a child's brain is actually starting to wake up?
It really does depend. I'd have to say that, since children and teenagers are still growing, they obviously do need more sleep. Adults have been guilty of trying to get by on like 5 or 6 hours, but the general recommended, even when you're of adult age, is still 7 to 8 hours, so don't skimp on your sleep, kids.
Oversleeping can be bad for you as well, just pointing it out though.
That's true. A handy trick, I just want to get this out of the way now.
No, this is good stuff, man, go for it.
A handy trick when you're sleeping is kind of fucked up a little bit. What I like to do is I like to wake up at the same time every morning. And what that does is that it actually resets your internal, sleeping clock.
Yep.
So even when like sunlight isn't coming in, which is a natural way of getting up, your body is more adjusted to kind of getting up at that time anyway. I've had occasions where I've gotten up before my alarm at like 6-ish in the morning because I try to sleep and wake up consistently as a result. So this kind of nerdy stuff is brought to you by THD.
Yeah, he's all about like health and shit, it's fine, don't worry about it. Oh wow, the director now in black and white.
It's very rare to connect with a personality like this without bugging them on LinkedIn first, which is what I usually tend to do.
That's for work-related stuff, right?
Yeah, LinkedIn is a social networking site for like business professionals, and I'm on it, and I don't use it at all because I'm really terrible with that stuff.
Now, it's introducing a new system which I never really got to grips with, where you can basically tag two chips and they'll appear together at the same time.
Yeah, this way you can easily set up combos. I don't believe it's exclusive to this game. I think it's a bit too minor to look this up in the Battle Network wiki, though. But I believe this showed up, like, in Battle Network 4 at the very latest. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong.
I'm looking it up now.
I mean, I just said, well, hell, I can look it up too, I guess.
I'll find it first.
I bet you will, because I'm just gonna let you do it now.
Okay. It was in 6, Mega Man Battle Network 4, 6, Part 64, Platinite, tag chip system. I'm not seeing anything here apart from like, yeah, basically you're right.
Alright, there you go. See, you should just assume I'm naturally right about things, which is usually true most of the time, except when it's not.
So I'm just gonna show off how this works here.
You have to remember, though, like he said in the email, it can't be over, like, 60 megabytes. So no tagging, like, two big ol' mega chips that do, like, 500 damage each. That's not gonna work that way.
Oh, but I want my 1 grand damage.
Well, I don't care. You're gonna have to work for your cheat victory like the rest of us who have ridiculous folders that are customized to do that in one shot.
Whatever, let's just go show Mr. Mac our detention homework.
We have detention homework now?
Yeah, weren't you paying attention to the luscious plot?
Oh, I thought we were talking about sleeping patterns.
Wow, ironic. We should get detention.
I've had detention, like, one time ever.
Yeah, so.
And have I told you about that story yet?
You may as well now, mate.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I have said this, but I'll just say it again. The one time I got detention was when I was in a fight the second time.
Okay.
The first time...
Did you win?
the first time I was sort of beating him up when we were separated, but they were like really weak-ass girly punches, I have to admit. I could not punch whatever shit, but I had the guy in the headlock and I was trying to hit him, so technically I won. So after that point, you know, I got in trouble for that, and it was like, okay, you know, no, I got a detention for that, and the second time I got suspended, but the thing is, with the detention that I got, they actually, had us there on Saturday. We were gonna do yard work, but I think it was like too hot or too cold or whatever, so they made us sit inside, and we watched some fucking video. And the thing I always remember about this video, it's like how to be like a nice motherfucker or whatever.
Okay.
It was like, it was talking to me about like, you know, some kids may have emotional traumas and problems. Take a look at Bobby here. He doesn't seem to care about anything, implying that he has emotional distress. I'm like, dude, my friend doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's not emotionally distressed. He's just like chill, man. But the other thing I mainly remember about that was that was my first exposure with a cell phone. And I did not have one at the time, so I need to get a ride. I say, hey, can I call my mom? I'll look at it. How do I call somebody with this?
I think I'm remembering this now.
I was so embarrassed to ask how, though, because this was back when, you know, I was more embarrassed about this kind of shit. So I'm just sitting there staring this phone that this kid let me borrow like a complete fucking idiot, just trying to sit here and process how the hell I get it to work.
How do I sync my mind to the data plan? How?
And I'll tell you the next bit after we see, shock of all shocks, the character that Mr. Mock has enlisted to help us is none other than Mr. Match, the net-op of the first boss, Fireman, in Mega Man Battle Network 1, of all things.
I thought he was a recurring character when he first popped up on the screen. I was like, I'm no stranger to, you know, games bringing back older characters, you know, like in Ace Attorney and so on.
Yeah, Mr. Match's gimmick is that for most of the series, he basically operated the various different fire navis. He had Fireman, Heatman, Flam Man, as we've talked about earlier. Not Burner Man. Burner Man was actually a completely separate guy. But over time, he basically sort of straightened up. He used to belong to World 3, which was an evil organization run by the Battle Network version of Dr. Wily, basically. And over time, he kind of mellowed down and he started being more of a good guy, just kind of doing his shit. And here, he's actually a full-fledged teacher. In the anime, they kind of do a similar angle with him and the other members of World 3, like Maddie, him, a guy called Yahoot, who used Magic Man. There was like one other motherfucker, I think. Count Zap, that was him, okay. And they operated like a noodle shop with like decks, and it was stupid, and I never liked those scenes. But basically, at this point, he's like, alright, we're friends now, even though we're sort of not. So yeah.
Well, it's more like friendly adversaries, I'd say.
I suppose. I mean, he has not actually been causing trouble for a good while by this point. So we could safely assume to a degree he's sort of, you know, reformed. I mean, fuck, he's a teacher's assistant now, come on.
Yeah, you gotta pass all kinds of background checks to teach in an anime school.
Well, I don't know. If it's an anime school, I would imagine less background checks are required. Mr. Mock just walked off, by the way, to let Mr. Match hang out with this guy.
I like how you almost called him Mr. Mac, because why would you have two similarly named teachers in a school? That's just gotta be hell on, like, the paperwork.
Hey, it's always fun when you're in, like, you were, like, in class at school and you get, like, 2 or 3 kids with the same name, like yours. Matt, here. Other Matt.
Matt's 1, 2, and 3.
What was that other thing I want to mention? Oh, yeah. In the dub, Mr. Match, I'm trying to remember his voice actor. I'm going to go look this up really fast, but whoever voiced him did this obnoxiously terrible Scottish accent for the guy. At the same time, I kinda liked it. I actually think it fit him really good, considering the fact it's a stupid dub.
I don't know why, but when I look at him, I expect to hear a cross between Vexen and Demix.
Wait, really? Hey, he's more of a deeper type of person. Let me see if I can get his voice actor. Alright, so now we are just gonna steal more data from people's computers, as we are wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was the internet back then, but, you know, by then they didn't perfect password managers yet like they have now. I mean, these days, I understand the need for security, make no mistake, but at the same time, they've gotten really kind of obnoxious with all the credentials they want you to do. Like, sometimes you'll go into Google and they nag you, it's like, oh, we need your, you know, cell phone number, your second email. I'm like, let me just fucking log in, I don't care.
Did you find that dude's voice actor, by the way?
Yes, it is Trevor Duvall, and at first I thought that it was just somebody else's, like another established voice actor, a name they used to get more work, because if you don't belong in a union, like, you kinda, I have seen cases where voice actors have used various different names in order to get more work. I believe Dan Green did not do that hentai underneath his own name, by the way. But no, Trevor Deville is actually a guy. Like, he's done the voice of Rocket Raccoon, in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. He was Dookie in Johnny Test, so naturally I'm not a fan of him anymore, and there you go.
Oh my god, the dog?
Yeah, the fucking dog, of all things. Although, a lot of similar voice actors in the dub of Battle Network, they used a lot of Canadian voice actors. Scott McNeil was the voice of Gutsman, Shade Man, and I think Gary Chalk took some of the voices on. I'm trying to remember. I guess I can look that up now and see what Gary Chalk did.
Scott McNeil of Dinobot fame.
Yeah, Dinobot, Rat Trap. Wasn't he one other guy? Yeah, he was Waspinator. Of course he was Waspinator. I certainly hope. There we go. Okay. Now let's do filmography. Oh no, Gary Chalk was in Mummies Alive, though.
Mummies Alive is the hypest shit, though.
No, it's not. Mummies Alive is terrible, and I will continue to call it that for people who don't believe me for some reason.
Oh, fine. Hey, Iris, what's up? What you doing in my school?
Just staring at water. You're a girl. I've never met those before. I'm really not sure what male is.
Mega Man, how do I react in this situation? Yeah, the other day where you basically turned up and advanced the plot. What's that called again? Deus something?
Yeah, this is a great first date. Do you like fish? Huh?
Me too.
Another thrilling conversation Lan is having.
Oh, could you basically try to be a bit more energetic, Iris? There you go. Making an effort over here.
I gotta fucking talk to this kid. I'm Iris, I guess. I don't even...
I just realised I was saying her name before the name was actually brought up in the story. I'm sorry.
They go with that one angle. They have her the typical, another trope for, like, character types in, like, anime. It's like the very soft-spoken, kind of demure, kind of mysterious sort of girl. I mean, there are reasons behind all this. Reasons that I am dissatisfied with, but we'll talk about later.
Oh, this bodes well for the story.
Sorry, Dex is calling me with his latest amazing update.
Oh, right, I was doing something. Okay, we were talking about voice actor credentials.
I'm sorry, Match, I'm talking with a girl, something you don't have any experience with.
Hey. Not cool, man. I'm gonna be over here torching shit. Alright, let's go back and talk to the pyromaniac.
If I was a fish, Iris would pay more attention to me. We can do this. We have the technology.
What's a fish-like net navy? Is there like a, mermaid woman equivalent? Splash woman, there you go.
There is no Splash Woman, but there is a Sharkman EXE. He was piloted by a fishmonger named Mesa, that I mentioned in the last part. But yeah, he was based off of the Mega Man PC Robot Master of all things. You remember that game?
No, I'm looking at him now. He reminds me of that one boss in Beautiful Joe.
He sort of got a Beautiful Joe vibe. I mean, it is from Capcom. I'm not really surprised both of those games are.
Oh, the cross system is the hypest shit, and I mean that legitimately 100%.
I love the cross system because I believe it takes the past systems of the various games in which Mega Man has, like, separate armor upgrades, things like that, and it just creates, like, the perfect refined version of it. In the past, you usually had, like, in Mega Man, like, 2 or 3, you had styles. You could get, like, Wood style, Aqua style, and they have different other abilities, like Guts, Custom, things like that. In 4 or 5, they had Double Souls, and Dark Souls, if you're, talking about the 5th game, and yes, this is a natural thing, or Chaos Souls, or whatever. And they basically allowed you to take on armor based on other navies. You'd get, like, a special charge function, their weaknesses, their strengths, things like that. But the problem I always had with Souls was that they only lasted 3 turns. Now, in Battle Network 5, there's a strategy thing you have to do throughout the game where you're, the custom bar that fills up at the top of the screen, and normally you can activate that whenever you want?
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to do these strategy missions in Battle Network 5, that automatically turns on when it's full, so it's timed. So you don't have as much control over it as you like. Cross Souls in comparison, they're a much better version where you basically, as you meet certain navis throughout the story, you get access to their cross variations, where you can take on, their appearance and have their powers for the duration of the entire battle. They never go away. There's only 2 caveats about that. If you switch one out, you can't go back to it. Like, you can only use it once per battle. And if you get hit with that cross's weakness, like water, for example. If you get hit with that cross's weakness, the cross will dissipate, and again, you can't use it for the rest of the battle. But it's just so much better. And I've always felt it was kind of the coolest side power-up that Mega Man has gotten in the Battle Network games as a whole. And later on, when we get another ability that I can't talk about, it gets even better. Just you wait.
Are you absolutely sure that the cross system is not timed? Because I swear there is like a turn counter.
No, that's for souls. Crosses hang around, period, for the entire battle.
Right, I've got the description of the cross system here. I'll talk about this little minigame in a second. Or maybe... No, I've got time to talk about this time. Okay, the cross system is similar to the double soul unison in concept from previous games, in that Mega Man gains traits of a net navi, here called a link navi, but it does not use any battle chip sacrifices. It can be initiated at any time during the battle, and may last for the entire battle unless Mega Man is hit with an attack the cross is weak to, in which case he takes double damage and loses the cross for the rest of the battle. Okay, good stuff.
I told you, man, but it's just so much better.
Okay, so for this particular minigame or gimmick area, we're actually in control of Heatman.exe, who looks fucking baller. I love this redesign.
I have to say I'm not the hugest fan of Heatman, as a general. I've said this before, but I will grant you that Heatman EXE looks better than its classic variant. I really do think as a whole, the Net Navi designs have upgraded these things. And because they're allowed to go a little bit bonkers with Heatman here, he has a really distinct, silhouette and really distinct kind of appearance. He's still a fucking floating Zippo light, but at least he's got some personality, and I can't deny that.
So what we're doing here is there's like 4 kettle viruses running about, and they won't just appear randomly. They're on the map at certain points, and we have to use fire-based attacks and only fire-based attacks to take them down, and they have a heat counter. Once they reach 100, they will boil and basically die, and take hopefully other things with them.
Yeah, you basically have to overheat them in order to destroy them. I don't think after this you run into kettles that much, because it really does depend on you having fire chips. I only have a few usually whenever I play this game, usually just kind of the long-range shooting ones, as I said before, I tend to fight long range, but other than that, it's nothing too bad to worry about for this particular segment.
Yeah, we're just basically testing out Heatman here, because we've got to pass, well, a test, I guess, in order to get the heat cross.
Oh yeah, the heat cross is pretty good, but we can talk more about that when you actually acquire it.
Oh shit, it's time for our very first kettle battle.
Oh, we're doing this instead of the virtual Starbucks, I like it. Heatman looks just so overjoyed, in his, portrait, because his fire is, going crazy about his eyes. It's like he saw a hot girl, and it's like, whoa!
Hot! That appeals to my heat sensibilities!
Yeah, that's probably what he would do, too, now that I think about it.
I'm sorry, I just love Heatman.exe. I'm a fiery type of guy, even though I've been told many a time through online personality tests that my specific element is Earth. I don't give a shit, I like fire as an element.
Fair enough.
Alright, we've done level 1, so come back next time when we'll take on levels 2, 3, and maybe more.